Hi, this is Richard here. So this video is about aquatics. It's about me keeping a marine tank. Now, I've been thinking about doing this type of video for a while now, but I asked on my Facebook page if people would be interested in that type of content. Now this is mostly going to be a fishing page, but it's something that I would like to do as a wee bit extra, just something different. Is do like update videos on my marine tank that I've got. I asked for feedback on my Facebook page asking if people would be interested in that type of content, and I was actually quite surprised by the amount of feedback that I got, and people saying they were just setting up their tank and they asked for advice. That's the thing, I'll be honest, I'm not the best when it comes to doing an actual marine tank. I'm still quite new to that, but I've got a lot of experience in dealing with different types of setups. I've kept tropical, I've kept Malawis, I've kept Lake Tanganyika, which is African cichlids. I've kept a lot of different variety of species of fish over the years. The tank itself I've got at the moment is a 300 litre tank. Initially it started off as a marine tank, but when I was 16-year-old when I got that tank, it was a wee bit too difficult for me back then, and I gave up. I'll be honest, I gave up. So I quickly turned it around to a tropical, got a wee bit bored, and then changed it to a Malawi tank. That I really enjoyed, and I kept that going for a good 10-12 years, and then just gradually started, a couple of years ago I started to get a wee bit bored with it, just because it was the same thing that I was doing all the time, seeing the same fish, and it was nice seeing them growing up and getting to quite a large size and stuff like that. But my heart was always with a coral reef, a marine setup. The tank I got, and the tank that I'm using at the moment, is a 300 litre tank, but that tank's made for a tropical tank setup. It's not really designed for marine, and it's also a canister filler tank, which is also not really popular when it comes to marine tanks as well, but it's what I've got. And like I say, I'm not the expert when it comes to the marine side of things. I've been quite lucky so far. I've had ups and downs over the last year when I set up. And these videos, it's just going to be update videos. I'm hoping to do once a month, just as like a wee update. Hopefully the videos are enjoyable. Hopefully people get some help from it, like they get wee bits of advice and stuff like that, and they find it helpful for their tanks. But mostly I'm hoping to do these videos so I can get feedback back, and if people out there that's got a lot more experience than me can see if I'm doing anything wrong and they can give me advice and help. That I would really appreciate, because like I say, I started off doing marine 16 years ago and I didn't have much success, and I've only been doing it for a year and I've had ups and downs. But like I said, the initial setup was Malawis, but I've always wanted to do marine. So just over a year ago I started doing the marine tank again, set it up for marine. I had the fish going in it for a good while, a good 6-7 months, and then I decided to get a blue regal tang. Now a blue regal tang is not really suited to that size of tank, but the one I got was a baby one, and I thought I could have it for 6 months so I could grow out a bit and then I could swap it for another one. Unfortunately that type of fish is quite prone to white spot. Now I did quarantine the fish, and it wasn't until after the quarantine and it was in my main tank that it developed white spot, and unfortunately it wiped out all the fish. No matter what treatment I used, no matter what I did, the circumstances to what had actually happened in the end, all the fish had died. So I've spent the last 3-4 months with no fish in the tank. I wanted to make sure the white spot was completely gone in the tank before I started adding new fish, and I've recently just added new fish. Now the tank itself is, like I said, it's a 300 litre tank, and the key in the heart of the aquarium is obviously the filtration. So in order to have good filtration, especially in that type of tank, you need big filtration. So I've actually got 2 large filtration systems. It's got all the correct biomedia that I'm going to need for the tank. Now, one of the canister fillers on itself actually does 10 times the amount of volume of water per hour more than is required for that size of tank. So one canister filter on its own is more than enough, but I like to double up on things, so I've got two. As you can see, I will have a big canister, a white canister there, and that's filled up with the trace element that I use, and that's done by an automatic pump. So that takes out the correct amount that I need per day and it tops it up. So it's quite a nice wee feature that I have going with the tank. Other things that I would use for the tank when I'm doing water changes as well, which is kind of frowned upon so far from what I've seen, is actually use tap water. Now, a lot of people prefer to use RO water. I'm actually getting that function installed in my house, but at the moment I'm just using tap water. I've been using tap water for the last year and I've not had any problems as far as I can tell. So I use tap water, and the thing I use for that is Prime, and that's probably the best thing that you can use at the moment out there in the market from what I can see, is that Prime lasts for ages and it's a really good product. Also, when it comes to the tank, I've not really got the best lighting at the moment. I need to save up and get that. That's why I'm keeping soft corals. I'm keeping corals and fish that's not really dependent on strong lights. The fish and the corals that I've got at the moment prefer low lights to medium strength lights, and the lights I've got on the tank is actually okay at the moment. I will be getting stronger lights in the future. I do have a current machine in, creating a natural wave within the tank. I'm going to get another one on the opposite side just to give a bit better flow. With the lights, I've got them on an automatic timer, and it basically will stagger on the lights. So what will happen is the blue lights will come on first for the first half an hour, then the white lights will come on, and then at night time the white lights will go off, and then the last half hour of the lights will be the blue lights on again. So it staggers on and staggers off, but a total amount of time that the lights is on is 8 hours per day. I also feed the fish and the corals per day as well, very small amounts. Corals I feed on a liquid food, fish I feed on flakes, frozen foods. Most of the corals that I've got at the moment is soft corals, as you can see. With some of the new fish that I've got a couple of cardinals there, and I've also got a clownfish. So my goal for the future is try and just make the tank thrive as best I can. If there's anybody watching this and has got a bit more experience and they can see something that I can do maybe a bit better, leave a comment, I'd really appreciate it. The only problem I can see at the moment is the algae. The algae is going to be a bit of hair algae in the last month or so, it's starting to build up and I'm cleaning that as well. I just need to keep on top of that. As for testing the water and stuff like that, my parameters on the water at the moment seem okay. From what I can tell, everything's going fine in that regards, apart from a wee bit of algae building up. So I need to dig deeper into that and find out the main cause for that. I don't know if it's just to do with the flow, maybe there's not enough flow in certain areas, because most areas the hair algae doesn't grow. This seems to be in certain parts, so I think that might just be a flow issue maybe. So I'm going to try and adjust that in the future. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. The goal for this video is just probably a monthly update to have a progression and see how the tank's doing. Mostly for myself to look back on, but also I'm hoping that it's something different that most people might not see, and I think people might enjoy the content. So that's the goal. I hope people enjoy it. I hope that people can get some type of help from it. Like I say, I'm a complete novice when it comes to marine. I've still got a lot of learning, and I hope that people can leave comments, and if they see I'm doing something wrong I could do better, please leave a comment. I would appreciate it. But no, I hope you enjoy these videos. It's going to be something different from the fishing. The fishing is what the channel's about. The aquatic videos is just going to be something a wee bit extra. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. But until I get out and actually do a bit of fishing this year, tight lines, and thanks for watching.